What if one man could make entire cities surrender? Before his army even arrived, not a dragon, not a plague, not a god. Just one name, powerful enough to shake the world. His name was Temujin. He was not born a king. His father was poisoned. His family was abandoned. Hunger became his teacher. The world taught him one thing: survive. On the steppe, mercy barely existed. But the boy learned how fear worked. And one day, the world would know him as Genghis Khan. But before becoming a legend, he became a prisoner, chained, humiliated, broken down. They believed the boy was finished. But that night, he escaped, not through strength, through will. He learned silence could be sharper than a blade. When he returned to the steppe, he was no longer a child. He began gathering men willing to die beside him. But the Mongol tribes were never easy to unite. Sometimes he arrived with promises. Sometimes he arrived with fire. One by one, the steppe bowed to his name. Uniting the steppe was harder than defeating an enemy. Temujin was no longer the starving boy. The Mongol tribes hated each other more than the outside world. Small wars exploded everywhere. But Temujin moved faster than their hatred. He did not only fight hard, he fought smart. False retreats, counterattacks, encirclements. His enemies often realized too late they were being hunted. Those who surrendered were given a choice: join or disappear. Many chose to follow him. Then the day finally came. Temujin became Genghis Khan, ruler of all Mongols. The steppe was no longer home to scattered tribes. Now he was Genghis Khan. His army was not the largest, but it was the fastest. His riders could fire arrows while riding at full speed. They appeared, vanished, returned again. Genghis Khan did not see cities. He saw roots. The outside world still had no idea what was growing in the east. Great cities continued living in peace, but orders were already moving faster than the wind. Then the Mongol army left the steppe. People saw the dust before they saw the riders, and the world finally understood. The storm had arrived. The first cities saw black dust rising on the horizon. They believed their walls would protect them. Genghis Khan simply watched in silence. He was never in a hurry. He surrounded them. Inside the city, fear spread faster than fire. The attacks came quickly, precise, relentless. Defenses slowly began to crack. Then the gates finally fell. The streets became unnaturally silent. He entered not like a raider, but like a storm everyone had feared. The news spread faster than his cavalry. Many cities surrendered before he even arrived. Now fear arrived before his armies did. The name Genghis Khan spread like a disease. Rumors traveled from city to city faster than horses. People fled before battles even began. Genghis Khan understood something terrifying. Humans are easier to defeat with the fear of death than death itself. So he attacked fast, from many directions. Strike, retreat, lure, encircle. His enemies often realized too late they were trapped. Some cities opened their gates without a single arrow fired. He conquered not only land, but the human mind. And the Mongol Empire expanded like a giant shadow across Asia. The empire no longer moved like an army. It moved like a wave. Genghis Khan was no longer attacking cities alone. He was taking control of the world's routes. The Silk Road now lived beneath his shadow. Deserts, rivers, mountains. His riders never stopped moving. Kings began to kneel. His territory spread like night swallowing the sky. But Genghis Khan did not rule through rage alone. He built laws, discipline, order. Behind the conquest, trade began to thrive. From dust and arrows rose the largest empire on earth. The world no longer saw the Mongols as scattered tribes. Now they saw an empire. Under his rule, trade routes flourished. Merchants traveled farther than ever before. Letters, knowledge, and news moved faster across continents. The world slowly became more connected. The irony was impossible to ignore. The man who conquered through war also helped connect civilizations. But time was beginning to defeat his body. The conqueror was growing old. Even his army could feel the change. And quietly, an ending approached. No conqueror can defeat time forever. Even Genghis Khan began to weaken. His body aged, but his mind remained sharp. His generals started speaking in quieter voices. The empire waited in silence. The man who once shook the world now stared quietly across the grasslands. Then one night, he was gone. No cheers, no battle cries, only silence. But the greatest mystery began after his death. His body was taken somewhere secret. No giant tomb, no golden palace. As if the greatest conqueror in history chose to disappear into the same earth where he was born. Physically, Genghis Khan was gone. But his shadow remained. The Silk Road continued to live. Merchants crossed distances once believed impossible. Knowledge, letters, and ideas traveled faster than ever before. The world slowly became more connected. The irony was sharp. The man remembered as a brutal conqueror helped shape the roads that connected civilizations. Yet his tomb remains lost. The world knows his name, but not where he rests. Sometimes the most feared man in history leaves behind the longest-lasting change.